Okay, hi, and welcome to this week's Friday Freedom webinar. This is the second in the series. Like I said, I'm going to come to you every Friday with a topic. It's going to be short and snappy, about 15 minutes, where I'm going to go through a topic of concern, a problem that you are looking to solve. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and give you some action so that you can go away and get this resolved for yourself. So my topic of today is a really tasty one. It's something that I know many people struggle with. I get this a lot with my clients, and I read this a lot with people who, when they first come to me, it's that when we say it's hard to stop drinking, it's hard to drink less when my friends drink, or even when my friends, I've got these really heavy drinking friends, right? What do I do about it? It's really, really difficult. So the first thing I'm going to offer, I'm going to set it up, and then 3 actions, 3 ways to deal with this, 3 approaches you can take, and you can start using those immediately, or just pick one and go with it. We talk about this a lot. I talk about this a lot. Alcohol is everywhere, right? It's heavily socialized. It's the one thing, it seems, that if you want to give it up, or you want to drink less of, you can be quizzed on it. Your friends will quiz you. What's wrong? Why aren't you drinking? It's total strangers. I still find this hilarious. Might be out drinking whatever it is, my orange juice or my fizzy water in a wine glass, and I could have total strangers ask me, "Why don't you drink? Do you have a problem? Anything?" You don't have to explain it if you don't want to. It's kind of this air of embarrassment on their part, none on mine. And I always like to look at and we talk about this and we say, well, it's so hard. And yeah, it is. I get it. It's hard. But always, if we can smile about things, if we can look at another sort of ludicrous equivalent situation, it can help. So for instance, if you were to go to a bar, just a regular bar, and, people are there enjoying themselves, would they say, "Have you had your heroin today yet?" No. Come on. Just have a bit. Go on, you've got to have your heroin. Go on, join me. I'm having it. You've got to have your heroin. Come on, it's time for that. It's fun. This is what we do. We always do this. Now, unless you're in a heroin room, granted, we wouldn't do this. And we would think this, and when I talk about this, people laugh. We think this is crazy. But we do the same thing with white wine. We do the same thing with beer. We do the same thing with red wine. Right. So let's start to look at sort of the ludicrous situation that we have, where we're not doing this one thing that we don't want to do, because everybody else is. We are made to feel like the odd one out. And so I say this kind of in jovial nature, but this is really important, because this fear of what we say, this fear of having to run the gauntlet, this fear of having all these questions to answer, is something that keeps so many people stuck. We say they're just going to push me on it. It's just going to be so hard. I'm going to cave. Oh, it's just not worth it, right? They know me as a drinker. I'll just have to keep stum for now and go on with it. Now, or we say it's just too hard. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready for it, right? Just because it's hard doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing it. And as I was thinking about this, I realized that actually, while we say alcohol is the one thing, and I started this webinar saying, rather than if you were to give up smoking, people wouldn't disagree with you. If you wanted to give up hard drugs, people wouldn't disagree. But actually, we are often asked to explain ourselves if we say no to somebody. Let's say, for instance, somebody says, "Do you want to come round mine for dinner?" I say, "No, thank you." Now, they might say, "Why not? Is the day wrong? Maybe should we another day? Is it because that's not good for you? Or is it because I said I was going to cook curry and you don't like curry?" And and we're kind of quizzed on it. Whereas if we say, so if someone says, same question, "Would you want to come round for dinner?" You say, "Yes, please." We're not asked to explain. I'll say, "Yeah, I really want to come, as I want to see your house, and I really want to come because I know you're going to cook curry, and I really want to eat that. And what else? Oh yeah, I really want to, see your spouse. It's been ages. I want to play with each other." We wouldn't do this. We don't justify a yes in society, and we feel we have to justify a no. So we can just drop that. We can just drop this idea that we have to justify it. So that's sort of the first thing to say. Just because it's hard doesn't mean we can't do it. No, I said I was going to offer 3 ways of tackling this, and here's the first, and that is to make a goal. Right? Go into a situation knowing what you want to get out of it, or knowing you have an idea of this is how I want to play it. We need to make a decision on this, because only you, my friend, know what is the best relationship you want to have with alcohol, right? Whether you want to not drink anything during the week, drink less in one sitting, you want to give up entirely. You know, as a coach, when I work with people, I coach them obviously on it, and I can guide and I can help and I can advise and all the rest of it. But I think my clients are smart people. I think you listening to this, you're a smart person. You know what's best for you. You know what goal you want to put in motion, but do please have one. If you go into something a bit loosey-goosey, I'm not sure if I want to drink, I'm going to see how I feel. We often say, I want to see how I feel, I want to keep myself flexible. That is not going to give you any kind of structure to know whether you're on the path you want to be on, right? So just have a goal. Just decide, and you can just decide for this night, for just this night, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to play it, right? So think about that. Really important, because if we then know, at least we have something to measure against. And then if it doesn't go right, we can evaluate and move on. So that's the first point. Second point, and actually my podcast this week, I think it was episode 66, about thoughts we have about what other people might be thinking. I really encourage you to understand what you think about what other people think about your drinking. I'll say that again. Understand what you think about other people and your drinking. What are they thinking about you? Right? It's a big one for us. My friends drink. My friends are heavy drinkers. I've gone out with them for years, and that's what we do. We just drink, right? It's gonna be so hard. So I want you to ask, what are you thinking about that? Right? So that's something, because that's in the past. We can think what we like about it. So an action here, I also want you to write down and look at the story you've been telling yourself about your ability to cut back and the role that other people play in your cutting back. Right? Your ability to cut back. What do you believe about that? Good, the bad, and the ugly. And what role do you believe other people play in you cutting back? For instance, you might say it's going to be so hard, Anna, because it's how I connect. So I connect with this person. Or it could be so hard, it's just habit. It's what we've done for years. Whatever it is, I want you to write those things out. And then I want you to ask, perhaps you thought, it would be so much easier for me to cut back if they just would too. I mean, honestly, if they would just recognize what I'm doing, or if they would just not drink, or another way this translates is if my husband, if my partner would just stop buying the wine. So much easier to cut back. But what we're doing here is when we give our power to other people, so our ability, our power away to make other people, so to making other people change so that we can change, right? So if they would just cut back, I'd be able to do it too, right? We're effectively saying we're not going to be able to do it until they do. Guess what this does when we give away our power? Now, on the one hand, you might say, well, it kind of, it's a bit silly to think that. Yeah, let's park that for a second. I'll offer it prevents us changing, because other people have the capacity to disappoint us when this comes up, right? So they might agree, yep, going to do it. I'm going to actually support you. I'm going to cut back too. And when we get there, they don't do it because, right, they're an adult. They get to do whatever they want. And then we're like, okay, goalposts moved here. What do I do? And then we sort of freak out a little bit, and then we're disappointed by this. Other people have to be motivated by themselves to make changes, just as you have to be motivated by yourself to make your change. We do this with other stuff. If your friend, let's say you're working in a company together and one of you, your friend decides to go off and get another job, they don't make you go off and get another job too before they make the jump, or vice versa. If you're miserable, you want to get another job, you don't say, come on, you've got to come and get another job with me too. We don't do this. We don't do this with anything. We don't outsource our enjoyment of something to other people. So for instance, skiing, right? I've been skiing for many years, never particularly really, I guess, liked it, but I did ski, and I did ski with friends. Now, when I stopped skiing, it didn't mean that their enjoyment of the skiing was any less. So they said, come on, Anna, I'm not going to enjoy my skiing unless you ski. Right? I was like, come on, Anna, you've got to drink with me. I'm looking for a drinking buddy. No, we'd think they'd be nuts and bananas. Of course, if I ski or not is irrelevant to their enjoyment of it. So I really want you to ask this. Ask why they can't have as good a time drinking if you aren't, right? If they're trying to regale you into it. Come on, this is what we do. Because then we feel responsible for them. We feel responsible for our friends' pleasure. We'll say things like, well, that is what we do. Right. And then we kind of put to the side that we actually don't want this anymore from ourselves. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about all these other areas in your life. Are you the reason why maybe they don't have a good job or they don't enjoy your job? Are you the reason why they don't enjoy their house? No, probably not, right? Bit of a nuts question, actually. So why are you the reason, if you're out in a bar and you're not drinking and they are, that they're not having such a good time? Which is what they might tell you. Come on, no fun. I'm not going to have as much fun if you're not drinking. Or there's part B of this. Understand what you think about other people and your drinking. Are you using other people as an excuse for yourself? Right? I have to do this. If I don't have this drink with Sally, our friendship's going to suffer. And if we can strip away these excuses, then we start to see that what's at the heart of the overdrinking are the stories that we're telling ourselves. In fact, that was the subject of last week's Friday Freedom. And then you start to see that you are the one in control always. Even if people tell you all this stuff, you are the one in control. And then when you can start to move into that and say, I'm just going to focus on me. Actually, I'm going to focus on me and giving myself the best experience. Guaranteed, those other people, when they're trying to get you to drink, are only thinking about themselves. When you focus on you and what you control and being your best person and following through on the goal that you set for yourself, you'll have a marvelous time. And it actually won't matter what other people think or what you think other people will think, because they're going to think it anyway. Right? So really quiz yourself on that. And if to get more into that, listen to again podcast episode 66 of the 90 Days Later podcast. Right. Third action, I want you to effectively take a selfie. With our camera phones these days, you can flip it and flip the camera. It's kind of like, used to do that, and now you just do it with one button to yourself. I want you to look at how you're viewing these situations, how you're viewing yourself around friends drinking. An old thought, an old belief might be, well, everyone will be drinking and that's what makes it fun, right? Everyone else is going to be doing it. And I want you to flip that thought into something that works for you, that gives you your power. For instance, it could be, I want to focus on me and my goal's not to drink, right? So rather than focusing on what everyone else is doing, I'm actually just going to focus on what I'm doing. And we kind of flip that camera. So we look at what we do, because when we do that, we are then 100% in control of our experience, how we feel, and the actions we take. Here's why this is such a good idea, not least because, as I said, you get the power back. When we get into worrying about what other people are doing and how much they're drinking and all of that jazz, it actually takes your attention away from your goals, right? We don't hold our goals to account with ourselves. When you start doing that, you start putting yourself second. What do? We start to get really annoyed with ourselves. Why will I never learn? Right? Why am I doing this again? Even though, we chose to do it. So we get really frustrated. This distracts us. We then feel bad about ourselves, and then we end up drinking over that feeling because we don't like this feeling that we're kind of letting ourselves down again, right? But we're getting to this place of judgment because we're not there just saying, I'm going to think more about them than me. So I want you to, even if it means feeling selfish, I'd actually argue it's selfless. But if you need to be selfish, be selfish. Stop paying attention to what other people are doing and take all of that energy and focus on what you're doing. Because then that's going to make you the person you want to be. And it feels terrific. This can feel tricky. Social situations are one of the trickiest bits of changing our drinking, because it's kind of when the rubber hits the road, right? People really start to notice. We can change what we're doing in the comfort of our own homes, but then we start to feel these judgments from society. I get it. It can feel very lonely. And this is why people like me exist. I can help you do this, right? I can support you through this. I can give you the clearest path to getting through this, to help you strip this stuff back so that you get to the result that you want, right? It's less lonely. And I'm very happy to coach you on it. So you could apply to coach with me, Anna at 90dayslater.co, or go to 90dayslater.co and click on the blue button to book a call. So that was this week's topic. 3 action items you can take around the idea of it feeling hard to change your drinking when other people are drinking more than you. And I also want to give, I can announce the topic of next week's Friday Freedom session. So I offered last week that if you have things that you want me to cover, I'm happy to do that. And Louise has reached out and she says as follows. So Anna, you say on your podcast, when I drink too much, I should look at this and learn. But I don't know where to start. Every time I get into this, I just feel terrible, think I'm never going to change, and then I give up. Right, Louise, challenge accepted. That's what I'm going to cover next Friday. I'm going to cover the evaluation process and how we can do this without blaming ourselves or feeling shame. And here's kind of like the added bonus for all of you listening. You're going to want to come to this session live next week, because if you are here and if you're willing to and you're interested, right, you think this would be a great example, great opportunity for you. If you want to give me a scenario, you can give me an exact scenario where you drank too much, and I will evaluate that for you live on the call. And I will tell you the exact steps. I will teach you how to do this. So by doing the evaluation, we'll do it actually on your example. And that will also give you the recipe for you to try next time. I totally get a lot of people don't maybe want to show their faces and so on. It's not a problem. We can do this anonymously. So you can either email in your scenario, or just give me a paragraph or 2. This is what happened. Email that to Anna at 90dayslater.co. And if you want to be anonymous, just say I want to be anonymous. That's totally fine. Or when you turn up, you can go to the chat box. And let me just check. I've got nothing going on here. And let me know. Just you can offer your scenario, and I will coach you on that in the session live. So that's a reason to turn up live. There we go. So that's everything from this week's Friday Freedom, coming to you. Just my way of giving you these tips and techniques so that you can go out there and change your life, and you too get freedom around alcohol. And I'm telling you now, it is a whole lot more fun than you might think it is. That's it for this week. I'll see you next. Bye.